Okay, so the Mayim is to go out and see. So the Mayim is saying, and the pasuk continues, the crown that his mother crowned him. Who is that? Who is the mother? Is Yidden, as the Medrash says. And how are Yidden able to crown the Eibishter, as it were? Because by Yidden, as opposed to Malachim, people can attain the level of Tze'ena, of truly going out, of truly moving, of truly achieving a level that is radically beyond the current state. Malachim are unable to do that. And that's why Neshamas are called Mahalchim, whereas Malachim are called Oimdim, stationary ones, even though they are constantly in a state of ascent. Now, the union of the Halicha, this Halicha happens to, of course, the Gilui of the Keicha itself, of the infinite power of Hashem. And the paradox is that the Neshama only accesses that when it comes to Mata. Even the Neshama L'mayli, brought the pasuk, is also stationary. Chai Havaya L'keisol Asher Amadati L'fanav. So he said that it happened two ways. It's like marriage. That the chibur of Zohar and the Keva, of male and female, to truly become one, notwithstanding them being opposite in their overt conscious state, is only possible through a Gilui Ein Sof that unites both of them. And the same is true of the Neshama and the Guf. As opposed to all other creatures, the Neshama is fundamentally incompatible with the Guf. It's pure Ruchnius and Bligvul, and the Guf is Gashmius and finite. So the fact that the Neshama comes into the Guf, that's a very good thing. Before even Avodah, already that's an expression of the, as he brought in the previous Maimer. But to my modern ago from the Ramah, Koyach HaMafti Lasis, Hashem's wondrous ability, which is a bracha we say, by the way. We invoke that description where, after going to the bathroom, the most basic elemental function of the body, that the Neshama is in such a body, it requires secretion, etc. It's a Koyach HaMafti Lasis. But at the simple level, just the function of the body is wondrous. It's not two separate things. The function of the body is reflective of the Koyach Ein Sof, which is why we can give birth also, which is virtually bleak. Well, it is bleak for one child begets another child endlessly. The Koyach doesn't weaken with each child. It's Mamish Ein Sof. Not like Ilav Olol. I didn't know you're back. I would have put a chair. Ilav Olol, where at the end, the final Olol, as explains, is not only that, each Olol becomes weaker as the cause and effect continues, and finally exhausts itself. It can't devolve further. It's the final incarnate of the idea. It just can't get simpler. Or any other example of Ilav Olol. Whereas the Koyach Ein Sof in creation, creating a child, and therefore it's reflected all of creation, doesn't weaken with time. So there is the Koyach Ein Sof in the fact that Neshama comes into the Guf, but the Gilui of it, that's Rabbi, that's the Torah and Mitzvahs. Why? Because Torah and Mitzvahs, in words of the Maimer, is the Dveikus Nikeres. Even as they come down here to this world, they're still godly as opposed to everything else. The Neshama's connection is a Dveikus built in Nikeres. It's not conscious, it's not felt, the person's alive. But there's no sense at all without discovery of the wonderment of it all. So this is the Avodah B'chol Ma'itcha. Okay, so now we're up to the end. We're going to resolve the stir between the Medrash and the Gemara. Oy Zayin, we'll do Oy Zayin. We were starting to get the flow, and the conclusion of the night, the stir was as follows. That in the Gemara it says that when the Eden said Nasa before Nishma, so the Malach HaShoris descended and gave them Ksorim. Can I get nice and can I get Nishma? Number one. Number two, the Medrash on this pasuk that we're learning about Torah, Shitale Imai, who's Imai? It's Yidden. So Yidden crown the Eibishter with these crowns. So who's crowning the Eibishter? That's what comes out from our medrash on this pasuk Tzeno Ure'eno. However, the Gemara says, the first quote I just said, that when Yidden said Nas before Nishma, so the Malach HaShoris gave the Kshorim to the Yidden. So who's doing the crowning by Matan Torah? The Elyonim are crowning the Yidden. So then he reconciled and said that the Yidden and Gin crowned this to the Eibishter. That's the pasuk. Another third medrash, Kedoshim Tiyah Kikodesh Oni, the Moshel of Bnei Bedinah, they made 3 crowns. King took one for himself and put 2 on his children. So every day, Malachim crown the Eibishter. What does he do? He takes 1 for himself and 1 and 2 for his children. So according to this, we just said now that it's the Malachim that are crowning the Eibishter. That's the Gemara. And the second medrash, it's Malachim. Whereas the first medrash, the medrash on our pasuk, who's Atorah Shitala Imay, who is it? It's Yidden. So who's crowning the Eibishter? Is Malachim or Yidden? That's going to reconcile now. No. So that's a summary and the final question. And let's continue now. Good morning, Moishe. It's Maimon here. Good to see everyone. Everybody's back. Everyone's back.
Yes.
We call it now moving, so it's all understood. It's kind of a summary, so it's good. Zion, the Indian Tzeno Ure'eno. Didn't you see rather this? You see it truly going out. You see it Megedrak Bala. Ain't it Malachim? Malachim are not capable of such a thing. Neither are the shamas before they come into the guf. Kim ben neshama guf dafka. It's only neshama guf, as we just explained. But they I see a Megedrak Bala Shalhem Tzeno. So through the avodah of going out of limitations, drawing on the koyach ein sof, truly radical change. Radical and unjustified and crazy. Shtus the Kedusha is talking about Azay Ure'eno. So then, Ure'eno you will see. What will you see? Batorah she'itah imay, come and see the crown that his mother crowned him. The crown of Neshamas Yisrael. This is what Neshamas Yisrael, that they connect the true makiv, the emes and makiv, not just the relative makiv, but the essential makiv. As explained earlier, the difference between the two. We cannot reach the true makiv, not the relative one. That's just beyond the current ken of the makabel, but something that's beyond any makabel. Period. Any hakbala. So in order to reach that, this is the avodah that comes, which is limitless. What unlocks this is the neshama being in the guf dafka. So it's Neshamas Yisrael. So what is it? The Gemara says that the crowns are given by the Malachim. Malachim also have this hiluch, this true radical ascent or move. How could that be? We just finished saying all along that they're not shaykh. Answer, the Liyah should call this will raptor. No, we said this already. The Liyah should call halois v'chol hamshachas and malidei malachim. The avodah is affected through the yid. The yid is elevated and he draws down the likus, but it happens with the agency of the malachim. And what is it that necessary? Because that's all part of Dira B'Tachtonim. But Dira B'Tachtonim is that the Elyonim, the malach, should know. On the one hand, they should feel this is what God desires. On the one hand, there should be the initial sense of we're close, we're high, we're godly, looking now at Olam Hazeh with disdain. And then to discover that a true aliyah namshacha is only through this little yid that you're protesting. Who is mad that you should even make mention of him or pay him any attention? It's this little yid and this woman, his struggles, that all of their true aliyahs and amshachas, you can continue forever, malachim, and have your nice little daily ascents, but you're going nowhere, literally. You're really going nowhere. So you can be satisfied with that, but they're not. That's the point. The Tachtonim is that the Yonim grasp finally that the essence is found in the struggle of the Yid. And they're party to, they want to be part of that, the aliyahs and amshachas, the ascents and the drawing down. So it's all through the malachim. In the words of the mind, it's the malachim that elevate the avodah of the Yid. So since they elevate the avodah of the Yid, they become a mahalach also in that sense. It's not by the choice, but they also have this radical. He's saying that Seidish Talshalus is radically transformed through the avodah of the Yid, the Mesiras Nefesh of a Yid, a mitzvah of a Yid. He transforms the palace. Never mind Elam Hazeh. With this, through here, all of existence is elevated. So therefore, they also have this halish. This is what the Gemara says in Chum. It's actually the first thing I heard of that I heard directly when I came to America. Elul Tavshin Lamed Hey. I heard Rabbi in the hookups in Australia, but the first thing I heard was this, that the trembling, that Hashem created man, all of the malachim were trembling. But there was a sense of, they saw the Eibishter's interest in creation of man like they've never seen him so involved. And they recognized, they trembled that their whole existence is totally in man's avodas. They trembled in Medrash. So it says in Gemara, Shenema, Baron Yachad Koich V'Boiker. Baron is in Ure'eno. When the stars of the morning stars sing, that's referring to Yid and Lamata. Right, Hashem promised Avraham be numerous as the stars. Then the pasuk v'hodar, the pasuk continues. Hodar is not part of the pasuk. You're just breaking it up. V'yorio kol b'nei alikim. It's pasuk in here. And then all the b'nei alikim, the sons of alikim, referring to malachim, yorio, trumpet, praise, stirred. But it all comes through who? Through the baron yachad koich v'boiker. The song together, the unity. Yachad, interestingly, the song, the morning stars together sing. So then the heavens open up, the heavens sing. So what is the song of the Yidden? The Shidduch on the Sham, the sea. What's the song of Yidden? Ishma Yisrael Havai Likein Havai Echad. It's a song, friends. Limsen Nafshi Be'echad. The Yid is prepared to give up his life for the wonders of Hashem. And he loves the Eibush to the extent of B'chol B'Yitcha showing how Yitzim Begad Avakbala. Beyond all limit, right? There's a Nas and Menahilol Gamishis Malachim. And this course, this answers that therefore the Malachim who take this song, they're lifted by it, and all the Hishtalshalus is transformed with the Nachas Ruach that the Eibush has from the Yid Shema Yisrael that they could never access. And they bring it. What is, again, just to add to this, what is the pshat that the malachim bring it? It's that the oil is suffused with the etzem. The oil by very nature, which is, the gedder ha'oil is giloy, and giloy means, I said earlier, giloy revelation implies already boundary. If it's being revealed, then there's ksavos, then there's dimensions to revelation. So here the oil on its highest level is suffused with the etzem, with the very essence of Hashem, the true Ein Sof, through the avodah of the Yid. Now, derech aliyah, this is similar to the aliyah. What is similar to the aliyah that happens to the malachim is similar to the aliyah shenatzis b'neshama, similar to the greatest sin that happens to the neshama. Al yedei biru nefesh habamis. Through how does the neshama unlock the keiche in sof through engaging the nefesh habahamish and neshama kameish l'mayli b'chinas amida. Neshama before it comes down to struggle with nefesh habahamish with all of its sense, it's all stationary. The avoid of refining the animal soul nasa, but he looked at when the neshama becomes a true goer. In a days, true mover and shaker. Likewise, the malachim, you saw the matter through them elevating, being party to the yids avoid the nasa gambahem. And in Ahilov, they also have this hilov, this radical transformation. And that's the resolution. The who's crowning? The answer is the Yidden. Yidden or Malachim. It's Yidden and also the Malachim. All of Ishtalshalis is part of this coronation of Hashem. All of creation sings His praises now on a whole new level that could ever sing itself. The Malach joining the chorus of the Shema Yisrael of Yid. And therefore they too are able to crown the Eibishter. That's what the Gemara is talking about. And the second Medrash she brought on Kedoshim to you, that reconciles to the Medrash. It's Neshamas and therefore also Malachim, all of Ishtalshalos, all of Giloyim. Aval, however, 5 lines in the bottom, look at a number between 63, number 63 and 64 in the text. But the true hiluch, the true hachtorah, the true crowning, in other words, reaching the makif, the emesim, makif, the etzem of the melech, it's through neshamas yisod dafke. The fish etzem meyeshing and ayisim megedrak bol, because by Yidden there's this inyan dafke, this avodah of going out of limitations of lachin shayachim, the ha'torah. Therefore, they're connected to the true transcendent levels of Alikus, the true essential levels, including the crown which the Eibusha takes for himself, as it were. That's the true makiv that the Yid piles. He takes it for himself. So what about us? This is also given to Yid. This essential level of the Eibishter is bequeathed and bestowed upon the Yid. Not just, as it were, taken for himself, and the Yid is not part of this moment, of this expression, of this deep level of intimacy. What's the Rai Lidover? Rai, okay, you need a proof for this. Okay, Masha Omar Azal says in Gemara, Ala Posek, V'hoyan Yisha B'tziyah in referring to lost in love. So those who remain, who survive, the survivors, as it were, Kodesh Yamalai. They'll say about him, he's a holy one. That's end of pasuk. Says the Gemara, Hasidim Tzadikim, pasuk in Yeshaya. Hasidim Tzadikim Lefneihem. So the future Mashiach will come. So the world, all of Ishtalshalos, will say to the Tzadikim, Kodesh, you're holy. The world will recognize the holiness of a Jew. Like we say about the Eibishter. So he's saying here that this Kodesh, this Torah the Eibishter takes for himself, this is also bequeathed to a Yid. The analogy from this Gemara. And now Rashi, British Rashi, Shalasid Lova, Yomer Malachim Kodesh, Lifnei Tzadikim. In the future, the Malachim will turn to a Yid and say, Kodesh, and he's Heilig, he's holy. Like they say now to the Eibishter. Now, since the 3 times Kodesh the Malachim say, Ata now lifnei Baruch Hu, and Gimel Atoris are 3 crowns. Now, this is concluding the Raya. The 3rd crown we're talking about. Mainly, the Eibishter gives us 2. It says, but he takes the 3rd for himself. Where's the Yid here? He's saying no. That Nimsa from this Gemara and Pasuk they just brought, and British Rashi comes out that Nimsa shel Osid Love Sheyim Malachim Gimel Pam Kodesh Tzadikim. That they lost it love, the Malachim will praise Tzadikim with the 3 times Kodesh. Yeah, so it's all 3, including the Torah which the Eibishter takes for himself. Right? We're clear the Raya. Yeah. Yes. Okay. No response. Meaning? Not a question. Can we just finish it to summarize? So we see from here that the Yid will reveal in the Shamash will be all three crowns. So he's saying like this. Even the crown he takes for himself. He's saying,
why does that have to be through the Malachim?
We just learned.
No,
now.
I'm just saying, lost lovely, when everything's been is out by the Yid.
We just learned that. We transformed all of his functions. And that's the Chiddush that ultimately is even the Malachim. They get it.
Okay. So in other words, now the Avodah is through the Yid, and La'asad Lavai, it's even going to be through the Malach.
No, if it's even now, it's be Begoli then. He said, no, all the Aliyahs and Brachas, they don't say Shira till we say Shira. They'll just be revealed then. But it's happening now. The culmination of what Avodah does will be revealed then. All the Aliyahs are happening now. What's going to happen there? Can we just explain the last question and answer? The Medrash says that the Malachim give the Eibush to three crowns. It's sort of what he's saying. Let's get the geography, the technical thing. And what did he say? He said the Malachim are giving crowns only because they're writing, as it were, and they're elevating, they're transmitting, they're expressing the Avodah of the Yid. Their song is sung in chorus with the song of the Yid. And what's the song of the Yid? Shema Yisrael Avalekeinu Vayachad Mesiras Nefesh Avodah, and so on. What do the Malachim do? They give the Eibush the three crowns. Once he takes for himself, and the other two he bestows upon his children. So the Chura comes out that we only shaykh to the two lower crowns. What does he mean? The Chura, the Pshat is this, that the tainuk that the Eibush has for a Yid, so he has that tainuk. Doesn't share it with us. We should feel his tainuk. It's not clear from this medrash. This medrash, no. We are pale talk about Torah Shittalei Imay. We're Megala, the Pnimis, the Gitanik. We're Memala, the Eibush says this Avakadosh Baruch Hu. So the Eibush said this is tremendous Nachas Ruach. That's that Torah which he takes from himself. The Atzmis, the Gat Torah, which the Yid pearls, which the Malachim are all part of. And what do the Yidden experience? The lower two levels of the Kesed. The other two Ksarim. Where do we see that this tainuk that the Eibishter has, he shares it with the Yid, which is the ultimate kavanah. So he brings a raya. There's some way, I don't know if this has brought any Rosh and Siddur, so you have to see. The raya of the David doesn't bring any. This is the only place where this is brought. This is extraordinary. So what's the raya? So the raya is like this. In summary, the raya is that La'asid Lovai Malachim will say to Yidden what they say to the Eibishter now. Period. What do they say to the Eibishter now? Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. They're saying it now through our Avodah, but they are the ones that actually convey the Torah. And now we're told that the Eibishter takes one for himself and two to Yidden. So there's a level that the Yidden are not privy to l'chayra. But La'asid says that they'll say on every Yid Kodesh Ata, and Rashi explains that the Malachim they were saying Kodesh till now, the Eibishter now fully realize that where's the Kedush of the Eibishter expresses Dafka the Yid Lamata. So all their three Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh is where it's said to whom? To a Yid. And what does that mean in simple language? L'chura, it means that this third crown that the Eibishter took to himself, which means what? That this Ava Kodesh Baruch Hu, the deepest Atmi Dike Nachas Ruach, it's not just that the Eibishter has it, his type is realized, but he shares this nachas with the Yid. The Yid is privy neshama Yisrael to the Kodesh, the Torah that the Eibush did. It's not that you did your job, thank you. It's you are what I want, and I want you to feel this great desire and love that I have for you, and the nachas ruach that you cause me. I want you to feel that. That is the pnimis hakavon. Not only that I should have it, but you should feel it. This is consistent with the Rebbe's Chiddush B'chalal. The whole kavan is neshama Yisrael. Not the dir itself. Not simply the Eibishter desire for dir b'tachtonim has been realized. And we're agents that do it and be. That's it. We're not agents for dir b'tachtonim. The dir b'tachtonim is us. You always say that what's the point of a home? It's a beautiful home. It's the ones that live in it. That it expressed the ones that live in it. That's its Bible. But this is Moededik that he has to bring out. If there's nowhere else in Chassidus, a raya from the Gemara Baba Basra, the Rashi's Pirush. It's not obvious. This deep truth that it's all I want is you, and to share myself in the deepest way with you. It's a lot pashut. It took thousands of years for that to emerge. And along the way, it's constant protest by Matan by creation. One was man. Maila is Maila and Mata is Mata. There's two Mayim. There's Mayim Yoinim, Mayim Tachtoinim. You want to be in the Mayim Al Yoinim. That was the whole Mayim. Dalit Shenichnas of the Pardes. Said Rabbi Kiv Al Taimru Mayim Mayim. You'll be tempted to. Heaven will be saying it. But don't be seduced by it. Nimtza, so let's continue. Now the Kivim, the number 66. Kiv is your call, and so we just described the pasuk in Yeshaya, the Gemara Babasra, Pirush Rashi is all describing the Kodesh, the Malachim will say to a Yid, one with the Eibishter. So that's then. What about now? Kiv shekol in yon belosid lavayim is galus and yon shimshach ma'achshav avoda. Since that everything will happen then is only merely the revelation of what we achieve now through avoda. Right? The Rebbe said that Geula and Goila, the same fundamental. That is only the Aleph. The course is revealed. We see what we've accomplished. We experience it. Nimsa shagam akshav yeshli so kol gimlatar is the Rebbe saying that even Moededik. For instance, we pointed out that Rebbe says a Maim is not an academic kabbalistic insight. It's pale di inyanim, mamshich di inyan. It's at once a tefillah, like Beimer Maim. It's all in Torah. As I pointed out, watching the Gashmi is watching. Rebbe says a Maim. You see this not. You see the toil, the Torah, the Yirotz, and the So, friends, we're learning it with Mamshich Yonim to you, to us. Now, Yeshli Yisrael Kol HaGimel HaToris, all three HaToris, El Shachshav Behelim, it's Behelim. But nonetheless, he has to know that Torah, which the Eibishter has for himself, is given, and the Yid is party to that. Eibishter takes him there. Feel my desire for you, my nachas from you. But now it's Behelim. There's a commercial what's the moshel so this brings? He brings here like a precious stone. And it's in a box. You got a deposit, but it's in the deposit box. It's in a bleak wool. It's concealed, but it belongs to him. You have it. Because now what's revealed is only in a limited way. Therefore, revealed to be experienced, to feel it, to be one with it. This third crown that Eibishter takes to himself, that's not possible now until Mashiach comes. But on the eve of Mashiach's coming, friends, is already the Te'ima. It's already the taste of it. But then will be revealed even the bligvul. Then the third crown, the Eibishter takes himself again. That's the true this ava al behel. But it's also true. It's present now, but not concealed. Now he says that what draws down this third crown, this is from a place that is higher even than the source of Torah mitzvahs. He said before, the Torah mitzvahs said that which is Megala, the Koycha Ein Sof, that's in general. But the true koich himself, that's the Torah Gimel, the Atzmizdike, Essentially, is to hide in Torah mitzvahs, is to tshuva, is even hide in Torah mitzvahs. Akdamas Naisel Nishma, that's more than Torah mitzvahs. To say that is Nas Nishma, then nice. The Akdama Naisel Nishma, that's not Torah Gimel. That's the Gewalt, that's where the Gewalt lies. Not that he's a good boy. He's crazy. Shtus diktush. Siris nefesh. Putting himself aside. Doing everything contrary to the natural instinct. Which is preservation at all costs. Commotion is explained elsewhere. When he's by a gam was the shot of my code missing to explain this thing that was referring to my modern previous years, which we learned, friends. I'm sorry, Tashin Yudzayin. Shavuos of Tashin Yudzayin, that was referred to my modern the previous years. It's very unusual. So there it's explained the Peter's dividend had the Shalapas. The Medrash says in the Pasuk, these you shall be a treasured people from all the nations of the world. You should be for me a kingdom of priests for Gei Kodesh. Gimel said in the Pasuk. Says in Medrash Gimel, Kedulus, Nos, Nakash Baruch Israel. Three greatnesses they wish to give Eden. Skulim Kolamim, Lachaskenim, and the Gei Kodesh. Bischar in reward, Shekibulus HaTorah. In reward for the fact that they received the Torah. Veilahein. What are the three greatnesses? Gula, one, treasures, Mamlachas Kohanim, two, Gei Kodesh. That's what says in Medrash. And explained to these, my modern Gdula Gimel. The third greatness, the Gei Kodesh. Who connect that Torah Gimel, that's the third crown. Now comes somebody to take a statement, friends. This is not drawn down through classic Torah mitzvahs. But the third crown is Dafkin Kaddish Atzach Mutalach, sanctify yourself, which is permissible. This is the Aved in the Mahaz Mechol Dachechadaya, where he's permissible and he has all the license in the world. And here's where he says the Mutalach. That's Mamshech, that's the Torah HaGimel, that's the Gei Kodesh. The Chamurim, Divrei Sof, the Gemara says that Hashem says more precious and more severe, literally. Other words, the say from them when the Divrei Torah, or that's in general what is it? It's when you live the day to day as a Yid, as a Chassid, and therein lies the Keich of Bli. That's the Gei Kodesh, that's the Torah Shita La'imah. To continue tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem. Be'ezer Hashem is tomorrow.